Welcome to the Town of Darien Sewer Commission meeting, regular meeting of Tuesday, July 1, 2025. It is 4:33, and we're in room 206 of Town Hall. First item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from our last meeting on June 3rd.
Staff had one change. We did have to add Reese's name in last minute before
Yeah.
it's printed. So we'd
It's
like
fine.
that to be part of the approval if given,
Saw that.
if you feel, it's appropriate.
I guess.
Yeah.
Give him
There's an
credit
N in
for-
Hutchinson.
We'll give him credit for.
Page
so,
5, there's
Oh,
an extra
nice.
N. But that's fine.
How many
Oh,
N's do
yeah,
you
I see
want?
that.
I don't know.
Page
Can I
four.
buy an N, please?
Page 4, there's an extra N too.
Huh?
Page 4, there's an extra N under new business.
Really?
Hutchinson. Oh, in the top, too.
Yeah. I'm comfortable either way. I think they'll know who I am.
Yeah.
It's been a few years.
I don't know if you want to make a motion that,
Would you like to make a
Reese-
I'll
motion?
make a motion that adding my name at the front's a good idea, and any nits and nats with the extra N, and that everything else looked great.
Everybody, anyone second that motion? Would anybody like to continue to discuss that motion? Okay, we have a first by Reese, second by Peter. All those in favor of adopting minutes?
Aye.
Unanimous, 4-0. We have now, under item number 3, one sewer user fee appeal for 111 Gardner Street, Pedro Zapata. Is this you, sir? Yes. Please stand at the podium and tell us your name and address.
I couldn't figure this out.
There's nothing there.
And give us a moment to kind of look at the numbers. That's interesting.
My name is Pedro Zapata.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Okay.
And just so you realize, the column all the way to the left is what's coming up. It actually hasn't been built out.
Yeah.
you stole my thunder. I was just going to say,
Yeah.
just for reference, Joanne added the extra column. Thank you.
Who was asking for 2023?
Trying to steal my thunder.
I didn't want it to be confused as to how far back we're going. It's actually just a year.
Yeah, for 2023.
Yes, okay, so your bill for the 24 fiscal year was $1,102.50. The bill for the 23 fiscal year was $1,948.56. And what is the nature of your appeal? Okay, Palmer came out to assess, no leaks were found, no toilets were running, no water leaking or stains. So, I guess to that end, let me tell you how most appeals go, is we are presented with some additional information that was not available to us when the bill was sent out, that would show us there was some anomaly or use of water that didn't go down the drain, or something that was fixed, or some special circumstances involved. And so do you have any information like that?
I have everything. I'll give it to the office.
Yeah.
The plumbing, the bills and everything.
Yeah.
On 22nd, I believe was like less than 500. Then I pay on 23 was like a 2,000.
Yeah.
And 24 was like a 500. So it's a big difference between
Yeah.
the year before and the year after.
Did you,
It's a huge difference.
did you buy the house 2 years ago?
No, 3 years ago. Yeah.
2022?
2022. Correct.
Okay, so
Correct.
what might be the problem is the owner before, we lag 1 year-ish. It's last year's use applied to the bill the following year. you may have used almost no water, but you're getting tagged with the previous owner's high water use.
So do you remember the date that you purchased the home?
I believe it was May on 22,
I
I
can
don't
look it
remember
up.
the day.
Maybe May of 22?
Yeah, that's where we're headed.
Yeah.
And do you know how many people have been living in the home since you purchased it?
Say my son, my daughter,
Yeah,
two daughters, and my son.
yeah,
Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people.
5 people.
It was May 3rd, 2022.
We only have one bathroom, which is shower, a toilet, a vanity. We
Okay.
have one faucet in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay. We have washing machine on the basement, and we got one faucet outside for the garden. So, it's a huge difference between the year before and the year
Yeah.
after.
You know, even these numbers that
Do
we
you have a
based the older
sprinkler
build on
system?
Yeah,
Do you have a
No,
lawn
are
system?
no.
after.
the owner before died, so there may have been a year with almost no
And this was
use.
almost, this is all after May of 22 anyway.
Yep,
You see that, yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm sorry, Peter, I didn't hear the answer to the question. Do you have an irrigation, like a
No.
lawn sprinkler? No.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't really show up in the summer numbers.
Wait a minute,
really.
he said he bought in May of '22?
Yeah, which is before the
This-
period that we're
This is
considering.
before this chart then, because
Yes.
all this chart he would have owned,
Correct,
because this starts in July of '23.
correct.
Excuse me,
I-
July of '22 and
Did-
goes forward.
Did you expand the house, make it bigger?
No,
No?
no. I'm planning to do, but
Yeah.
no, I haven't done anything.
I mean, it's.
I
in-
fixed
yeah.
it for inside, yeah.
Yeah,
I
you cleaned it up.
Everything inside, but
That
I didn't
seems-
change anything from the house.
Seems like an awful lot of water use for a small house.
Well, I mean, it's people, how many people?
Yeah, I
It's-
know,
it's
I know.
5 people, right? So that's what the water use is gonna be based on. But,
How about
you know, the
bed?
last 2 cycles, whether the upcoming cycle, and the last build cycle, very consistent, 10, 12, 11,
Yeah,
a little more around the holidays. That's very consistent.
Would you-
I see the increase for the year before, but I don't feel as though we've been presented with any evidence as to why it occurred. Or that it wasn't going down the sewer or wasn't related to general use.
Did,
This high, I mean, 29 for
Yeah.
November
how about
is
the
super high.
faulty Aquarian meter?
Yeah, anything, has Aquarian changed a meter? No, nothing, it was just the same
I
there.
took the
no-
plumb, and he checked everything, it's not leaking, it's
No
not.
service leak, yeah.
No, but Aquarian didn't change it like January or February of 2023?
Yeah,
No.
that would-
Okay.
or a little after.
Yeah, somewhere in that.
Yeah,
But it would be a little different, like a 22 from 23 or 24, but it's like 4 times the difference between the year before and the year after.
Basically double, yeah.
yeah.
Or
you-
half. It's
yeah.
going the other way, sorry. But yes, no, we're trying to, but we need
Evidence,
evidence that there was an issue and the issue was resolved and then the water usage reflects that the issue was resolved.
yeah.
So we're reaching for things for you.
Yeah.
We're trying to find a justification, but we don't have anything to base it on, is what I'm saying, yeah. Bob's saying that as well. Any other ideas, gentlemen?
I know, looks like we have 2 consistent, very 60 and a 61 years. And
Very
the
consistent.
115 is like an abnormal
It is.
year.
Abnormal, seems like a lot of water use for 5 people.
Yeah. But there's no,
And one bathroom, so that
Yeah.
you would know. It's
Yeah.
like.
I'm not even doubling up, yeah.
It's being used. It's not like a bathroom that, was down in the basement.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Right.
being used and could possibly have been running.
oh,
Would you
that's. I know
consider
we
a
have-
concession on half of the overage on that, or the anomaly on that 2023 year?
Yeah, I mean, I want to get there, I just don't know how we do it
Hmm.
consistently. Your house was, they built a brand-new house next to you like
Yes,
10 years ago.
next with the brand
It
new
used to be,
house.
that's where Eric had his garden
Yeah.
beforehand. And
Oh,
those
all right.
were, I mean, there were old properties there. I think that other house was, there's a foundation that's even older from the 30s. And I sold a house near here when somehow they redid the road. And things were moved around, and your house may even be older, maybe when they did the highway, they moved it there, who knows? And it's older than that. They have it as what, 1940? I'm just thinking, could anything be weird with the water lines under there? That's outside the house, wouldn't be caught by the plumber. That, you know, could a water
Before, I
line?
mean, before the meter, it wouldn't show up in the bills.
Right, that's true.
But then we don't have any old meter boxes out
No.
by the curb anymore, do we?
No.
Um,
I mean, maybe why don't we just table this and let him call Aquarian and say, can you trace the line and make sure everything's clean to the house?
Well,
But it's
the line,
stopped, isn't it?
between the
Stopped.
street and the house is his, not Aquarian's not gonna do anything.
The
Yeah.
issue basically stopped like the summer of 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Went from
ever since then,
18
been
to
super
13,
consistent.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Power wash the house or anything like that?
It was every month.
No, you're talking like one of the months,
Yeah.
29, 29
No.
It totally looks like a leak,
is,
it does, right? Yeah, it does. It reads like a,
but we
well, it
don't,
does, but yeah, but it
well,
doesn't
July was an
usually-
8 and August was a 36, you know?
Doesn't
Yeah.
usually rectify itself.
It's like immediately.
and then March sort of went back down.
I mean, it
higher.
could be anything like you replace the flapper valve on a toilet at some point, you know?
No, when I bought it, I changed the toilet, I changed the vanity, but nothing. I renewed something bigger like that, just everything.
So you
was
replaced the
same.
toilet at some point?
Yeah.
And
When
20
did you replace the toilet?
When I bought the house, I
Like
replaced it.
immediately or like a few
No,
months later?
immediately, before I moved in.
Okay.
And that was 2022,
Yeah,
in
so
May.
hard,
May.
yeah, May of 2022.
Before I moved in, that's when I did all the
Yeah.
reparations inside. Because was, you know, the people that was living was really all
Well,
inside.
maybe that's it. That took it to 18 from the high.
No,
No,
Yeah, it was before.
It's before that.
Before our numbers.
He moved in before this chart starts.
yeah,
Yeah,
This chart starts July of 22 is the very top.
yeah.
yeah.
That's what I was looking at that May too, and I got.
Well, look, the only thing I can say is I agree that the 23 charge is a lot. You know,
Could we split the difference maybe?
yeah,
between that?
which would, in my math, would be $455.37, brings it down a little bit. But
I just-
I certainly couldn't do more than that without something more
That's
clear.
50%, so if it did go down the drain, we're doing the 50% rule
Yeah.
for quite a bit of time.
But I will defer to the judgment of whoever wants to make a motion.
Bob, what are you feeling?
I mean, if you just look at the numbers, yeah, it looks like it. I like to have some kind of tangible, reasoning behind it, just not that, because I mean, we had that one where that gentleman had all of the people there. Remember
Yeah.
the Ukrainian and the water went crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, there were more than one bathroom.
Had people there for a few weeks or whatever, yeah.
small house though, you could see that.
I mean, I just wish there was some kind of an issue that happened during
Yeah, we
the
could-
summer of 2023 that
You can nail down.
could nail it down, whether it was a new meter or.
Replace the shower head, replace the dishwasher, replace the faucet, any other work that you did after you moved in? No?
Like I said, I just got the washing machine, the first in the kitchen,
Yeah.
Yeah.
shower, toilet, and the vanity, that's all.
Well, we're stumped.
Well, the nice thing to know is it's fixed.
And it's a small house, it's not a big house. You know, it's 3 houses around, the 2 of the side, the bigger houses.
Yeah, well, whether you got one person, if you got one person in a big house, you're gonna pay less than 5 people in a small house, because we base it on use, not the size of the house.
I mean, I'm with Craig if you want to come up with a motion and come up with the logic to get there. I mean, if not, I'll do it. we split the difference.
I mean, are you splitting the difference gallonage times the rate, or are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
doing straight?
Take the
I
six.
took 278 minus 147 divided by 2 times 706. Did you follow that?
Yes, I follow that very clearly.
And you got a reduction of 450,
537.
so what do you want to net it out to do a charge?
We could just say that, and these guys will figure it out.
Okay, all right, I'll make a motion that we reduce it
I'll second.
to reduce it by $455.37.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Reese, seconded by Peter. Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor? All those opposed?
I understand that too.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
Yeah,
It's not, it's,
We did as much as we can do without any more
Yeah.
information, so, but moving forward, looks like your use is consistent. The only thing you could do is get people out of the shower quicker.
yeah,
Yeah.
something comes to mind that happened during the summer of 2023 that, you know, that we could use as information for it, then.
yeah, you can always come back.
Come back.
We could adjust it again, but as of tonight.
But I give all the papers, like the plumbing, the
Yeah,
bills.
yeah,
everything.
totally.
Again, normally we have,
I
you
don't know
know,
what.
our water bills were huge for 3 months, and then
Yeah,
I
you got the
replaced
water
the
bills.
toilet, and it went down.
Yeah.
You know, like, and you say, oh, it was the running toilet, but,
So we were able to take half of the difference.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give you a credit of $455.37, sort of in the middle between the two. So we have to like have some sort of consistency with everyone that comes in, and usually it's, hey, the toilet leaked, and we can say, okay, it's the toilet, it stopped. So that's sort of the best we could do without any evidence.
all right,
I hope
thanks.
that helps you.
You'll get a new bill from, the clerk?
I gotta
Okay.
issue him a credit.
Yep.
Oh, okay,
No,
paid.
Yeah, he's paid the bill already.
Oh, okay. I thought Penny said he paid the minimum, but whatever, yeah, that's good.
No, 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Got it.
So you'll get a credit.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay.
That's it.
Item number
That's it.
4.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
The agenda discussion around, what we talked about last time, accessory structural collateral policy. Any progress on that, sir?
Yeah, I actually gave you my draft to look at. Item number 4 has an attachment.
I have some questions.
You do?
I do.
Okay, good.
The first being hardship. So, who do we want to,
Ed.
say that it's Ed? We want Ed to say that it's a hardship, or we want it to come to us?
I think what we're trying to do in general, by way of this policy, is not create a situation where we're designing by committee and maybe some could consider us liable for designing by committee.
Okay.
So my,
Would it be liable? Isn't that?
liable.
Yeah, we
Not
should have
libel,
not liable.
liable. Yeah, I'm sorry, did I, yeah, no. Although we could probably get into trouble both ways, but. So I would say that's my way I'm leaning to describe it, you know, as to where I would like to come out in the end here.
Okay.
But Ed, what do you think?
Us-
Is that what you were thinking when you wrote hardship? Or were you thinking that they would need to come to us?
I didn't think you folks wanted me to come back to you with any of this. So I was thinking I was going to pass it on to Darren to make the decision.
Yeah, you are your designee.
No, yeah, it would be sewer superintendent or his designee.
Yes.
As long as you guys trust me to make the decisions, like I do now, it'd be fine. I'm fine with that.
I trust you.
So the backflow.
Yeah, and then the redress would be if you said, I don't think you have a good enough hardship. I think you need to make the connection outside of the basement. And they say, well, we disagree with you, Ed.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you can be
It'll
like,
come
okay,
out,
talk
yeah.
about it with the commission.
I think that then it'll make your agenda.
Yeah.
If they still disagree with my decision, then it'll come.
So really, at the top, we, you know,
They wouldn't
the
dare.
sewer superintendent or their designee, you know, shall follow this sewer lateral connection policy. Any appeals to the superintendent's decisions under this policy may be referred to the sewer commission.
Okay. More questions on,
Give me 1 second, Bob,
oh,
please.
yes.
Sorry, I write slow.
That's all right. Better correct than anything else.
Okay, fire away.
The low pressure part, letter D. That is the one that really gives me the most concern,
Okay,
We've got a low pressure force main lateral.
pumping into a basement where there's gonna be a pit there
Oh, and,
for a low pressure pump in the basement.
well, actually, this says,
Isn't that the way?
no, it would be the way I interpret this is that the force main from pump 2
Yes.
comes into the basement and connects downstream of pump 1 into the force main from pump 1. So each time that there might be a force main to force main
Oh,
connection,
all right,
instead of
okay.
doing pump to pump, it's force main to force main.
look at
Okay.
the last
Yeah, is that what that last
bullet,
one says?
look at the second to last bullet point. Hopefully, if you want me to
Oh,
expand
low
it.
pressure
Oh, there you go.
may never be connected in
There you
series.
go. We got it right.
I wrote that down
Pumping
because, yeah, Bob had mentioned that numerous times, and so did a couple
Yeah.
others. So I thought it was important to make that a standout bullet point.
Okay, my mistake.
So, gate valves versus ball valves, would it be a ball valve? Can you do a BBC ball valve instead?
Inside the building, it's whatever the plumbing code
Oh, okay, got it,
require.
got it, got it.
Outside the building, we could put a gate valve. I
Is there
prefer
a
a gate
or
valve than a ball valve,
Yeah.
but we've used both out there.
But you're talking about being able to isolate
Yep.
the one pump versus
Right.
the other. So you gotta replace one pump, you can shut it
Yep.
down, replace the pump, you don't have backflow.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, then the one thing, or the two things that we've put on all the ones that have come before us, would be in a gravity lateral, we would like them inspected. And
Camera.
the existing
Yeah.
sewer lateral is to be inspected with a video camera.
And any
The inspection
deficiencies
shall be
corrected.
reviewed by the property owner's professional to evaluate if the lateral is in functional condition.
You know, I like where you've been headed with this, Bob, and I've been in favor of that condition being added to a number of our motions, and I'm in favor of adding it to the policy here. To expand on it, I will say, every single application we make in Greenwich now, whether it's a zoning application, or a wetland application, or a building permit application, anytime you're going to ask town for anything, the sewer department says, let me see your video of your lateral. And it's a pain in the ass sometimes.
And they've come up with some very,
I'm sorry for,
very expensive fixes to some that were deficient.
yeah.
Under very,
But in this, you know, we're now doing the maintenance on the public side of the system, and we will continue doing the maintenance on the public side of the system. And we're starting to get our feet wet with compelling proper management of the private side of the system. This would be another tool in the toolbox. So I don't know if we can, I guess we should look at opportunities, like if you're coming before us, like what should our requirement be? Every sewer permit?
I think we could throw it in here, no worries.
Here, no worries,
Yeah.
100%. I guess I'm going beyond that right now.
Yeah.
With whether or not we can expand sewer lateral
Like to have-
video inspection to other areas, like increased user. Just, we're doing an addition and adding a bedroom. Well, that's more flow. let's see what your lateral looks like.
Well, we have that fee triggering that anyway.
We have the fee there, so there's a trigger there, so
So
they-
wherever there's a fee, maybe we have
We're
a
gonna get
camera.
informed, yeah, maybe we have a
So
camera
we
on
just
that.
add that on that, wherever there's an additional.
Yeah, we should think about that
Yes.
relative to our language,
And then if
being
it's-
able to compel lateral inspection. Yes, sir.
This is gonna steal a little something from the first selectman that we met last week, is what issue or problem are we trying to address or solve with this video?
Yeah.
And maybe that'll guide us a little bit better to where it should be.
I guess,
Every
yeah,
sewer
you're
permit,
right.
should it
Yeah.
be, you know?
The
what-
issues, we don't know what this condition is. It's out of sight, out of mind.
And here's the other piece. It's a private owner's issue right now, right? It's a private lateral. So,
Yeah, whereas with the sump pumps, we have a regulation that says don't connect your sump pumps. And there's plumbing code that says don't connect your sump pumps. So we have a little more standing to say, it's time to disconnect your sump pump. Here, where it's just like, I have a lateral, I haven't maintained it or looked at it in 30 years. Is there a law against that? You know, is there a regulation?
I haven't had a
against
problem
that?
in 30, I've lived here my whole
Yeah.
life, I haven't had a problem with it.
So really, I guess the first and easy way to create a tie is if you want to use that lateral more than you are using it today. Whether it's, I'm adding a ADU, I'm adding a bedroom, I'm doing an addition, you're gonna use it more, so we're gonna make sure it's healthy before you use it more.
Don't get me wrong, I'm a firm believer in what you folks are saying, which is, you're gonna use that lateral, you're gonna expose that lateral,
Yeah.
you're gonna video that lateral, because you need to make sure that, this is an opportunity to make sure it's not gonna cause you a problem a month down the line, a year down the line, and this is an opportunity, and before this life, I put those on all the plans that we did for new houses,
Yeah.
if we're using, or a new building.
Yeah, if you're gonna reuse an existing
You're gonna
line.
video this line, because if we're gonna have a problem, let's find it now. And I truly believe that it should be somewhere, so the question is, how do we capture that,
Well,
right?
that might be it, whenever there's a fee generated, additional bedroom, additional
Yeah, new connection.
greater use.
Reused connection.
Because we're adding a cost, right?
Yeah.
And they're gonna wanna know why we're doing it. And I firmly believe if you're gonna use an existing lateral and you're gonna build a new house, if you're gonna add flow to it, you should camera that line. This
Yeah.
is an opportunity to check a box that it's in good shape or it's in a condition
So
you can use.
back from the big picture to the small picture, I agree with adding that language here.
What about an as-built?
That was, you didn't let him finish that.
Man,
He
you
stole-
look-
did he steal
I
your-
we were
was
at it.
just gauging by how much you've written and spoken, and I figured you,
Did Reese take your thunder?
man.
Go ahead.
I'm done, I'm done.
All right.
2 words.
Thank God.
An as-built.
Thank God Reese is here.
An as-built will be provided to the sewer department. It will include the existing lateral and the proposed, in parentheses, finished lateral.
We like
Should
as-built.
this be a separate bullet point at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, could you say it again?
As-built
I'll take
required
short
of
An
existing and
as-built will
proposed.
be provided to the sewer department. It will include the existing lateral and the proposed, and then I have in
New.
parentheses,
Yeah.
finished lateral.
Let's look it further.
Anything else, Bob?
If only all the other boards had humor like camaraderie.
Existing lateral and proposed lateral, you called it, right?
I have it as proposed, and then I put in parentheses, finished, because depending on when they
New.
submit it, yeah.
It'd be nice, even if it's in the house, it'd be nice to know where it is in the house, so.
Good comments.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You want to give us a final version next month, then we'll vote on it
Yeah.
officially? Cool.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Update.
All right.
What's good?
Oh,
Moving
and
on. No, we're done.
About inspecting the lateral only applies to gravity laterals.
Yes.
That's, I put it under that section,
Okay,
right under that one.
okay.
As bullet point or item C.
Just doing the belt and suspenders,
Nope, that's
making
okay.
sure that I was clear.
Yep. I
So,
can see somebody asking, do we need to inspect the force main?
Sump pump removal policy. Ed and I did a mini public relations tour. Had a good meeting with the first selectman and a good meeting, albeit I was late to it, with the DPW RTM committee, the RTM DPW committee. I would say in summary, very few, if any, comments on the regulations themselves. And general understanding and support from those that we talked with for why we're doing this and that it was important. Lots of comments on the cover letter, and the general feeling maybe it was a little too heavy-handed, a little too verbose, and that we ought to use it as an opportunity to kind of educate, because we realize we're in this all day, every day talking about it, but Johnny Q homeowner is going to get a letter and, you know, he may not even know where the water goes when the toilet gets flushed, right? So I think more work needs to be done on the cover letter, but I don't know, did we got anything on the regs themselves?
Yeah, didn't hear any feedback directed to them.
Yeah.
So I,
So are you thinking we should include something about 400 million gallons unaccounted for
Yeah.
type of thing?
Yeah, so it would sound something like,
50% of what we pay for.
you know, the Darien sanitary sewer system collects waste from our homes and businesses and conveys it to the city of Stamford. And it is separate and apart from our storm drain system, which collects and conveys rainwater. All of the sewage waste from our sanitary sewer system gets sent to Stamford and is treated at their wastewater treatment plant, since we don't have one. And we pay the city of Stamford for the amount of water that we send. So we've now educated. The sanitary sewer system is suffering from the inflow and infiltration of clean groundwater and surface waters.
How about start it out differently in an effort to eliminate I and clean water?
Anyway, so
the mission has spent.
You're getting the idea. I don't have to write the whole letter right now, but
$6
No,
million.
Yeah.
no, I was just.
and then we would go, you know, it's come to our, you know, we know that
The next phase.
more than half the water we are sending to the city of Stamford and paying them to treat is actually clean groundwater and surface waters. And we've been addressing this on the public portions of the system that we control, but we need your help in addressing the sources of clean water from the private side of the system. And you know, some pumps will not be allowed, as we've told you in the past, and we're trying to collect information, and that'll help us keep sewer user costs low for everyone. You know, please fill out this affidavit. It's necessary, it's required, and
maybe to correct violations of the plumbing code with the illicit connections, something to that effect.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
In order to ensure compliance with.
How many words is it?
I gotta, you know, we gotta write it once and then you cut it in half, right, you know? Because if we can get it to bullets, if we can get it to, you know, one page with bullets, that would be my, like, maybe, you know, people actually reading snippets.
Well,
I have just as much ADD as everybody else.
I mean, do you start off with, you know, the way we started? Here.
Yeah, your second
Here you
paragraph
are,
here, yeah.
This is it, and if some pumps are gonna be eliminated, and failure to eliminate your sump pump, if you have one, fine of $250, I mean, right away.
Well,
I'll
again.
get my lawyer on the phone.
Well, exactly, that was actually the selectman's concern. If you start with, I'm gonna fine you, people are gonna retreat, and do I wanna answer this affidavit? Do I have to? Like, well, I'm not gonna sign anything, you know, like, versus the soft touch of, here's the problem that we're trying to solve.
We need
and
your
we
help.
need your help to solve it,
Yeah.
you know? So it's just a different approach, and we can work on the letter.
Of course, we have to get it to get down far enough in the reading to see that we want them to
Yes.
eliminate their sump pump.
Yeah.
And if they don't,
Really, we want them to fill out the affidavit
Yeah,
and return
right.
it. That's the win for this cover letter, right? And then we can deal with the fallout of what the answers were once we get them.
well, I mean, do we have to, as we send out the letter, Do we have to mention there's a penalty?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's in the
I
affidavit,
mean,
and,
I mean, a penalty if you don't return.
yeah, but I think we can maybe, it's in the affidavit, and so we can say, please fill out the affidavit, they'll read it there. And B, maybe before the end of the letter, we say, we need your cooperation, failure to return it within 90 days will result in a $250 fine.
Can we call it a fee instead of a penalty?
Fine,
Duck
Could-
ban, yeah, there's still a duck.
We chased that horse around
yeah,
the
it's a fine.
track once already.
Donation.
Fee, fine, penalty, fee, fine.
Okay, all right.
Did, anything else you wanted to add to the discussion?
No, I thought it went well. I thought it was well received. I think that after our conversation, and I think the Public Works Committee
They were on board.
on board, and they understood what we were trying to do.
And they moved to like, how many people can you tell about this? Can you put it up on the board at the dump? Can you go out on town social media? Can it, they were really activated in how do we get the word out to try to increase the number of affidavits we get returned.
We did explain to them that we'd send one out, let's say January of next year, and give them 90 days, but after the 90, we would,
Okay.
for the ones that didn't return them right away, we'd send them a reminder affidavit, if you will. And to that point, I did send you guys the first notice, as you saw, I broke it up on the agenda. In the further notices one, I just added the portion of, I did disconnect it, and oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, or something like to that effect. So I'm gonna be using two different ones, but that second one will come the second year.
Yeah.
Not
And I think-
the first two notices will be the same one.
People really have to know if there are issues or for whatever reason they can't comply, if they come in and just talk to us, keep us informed, we'll work with them. It's not about.
And that was important to them.
Being a nitpicky traffic cop, it's about getting people to comply and our system running better.
We tried to convey that to the Public Works Committee. like-
Yeah, that's exactly where they were,
Yeah.
that-
Not trying to make this punitive, I think
No.
is.
Compliance is our goal, not being punitive, yeah. Okay. Excellent further progress on that. Item number 6, superintendent's report.
All right, so the phase two, we're done with phase two. I'm just waiting for the final invoice to be sent so I can pay it.
Woo-hoo.
We were on to phase three, so it is out to bid. It went out last Thursday in the paper and online to consultants and contractors we knew that would be interested. We sent it out. Bid opening date is July 31st, Thursday
that's very
at 3
exciting.
o'clock.
And where is phase 3, just for the public, is that?
It is the Mechanic Street and Birch area coming
Got it.
down.
So we've had issues in that system, and now we're gonna start to
Yeah.
play whack-a-mole over there.
For some, I always thought that was the worst of them, but we did the worst of
Yeah.
the 2 or 3 areas already in phase 2. So, but this is the one that's kind of near and dear to everyone's heart. It takes into consideration.
We have an
manhole.
observable issue that
Yes,
wants
we
to be
do.
resolved.
Yes, we do.
Yep,
Yeah.
well, that's good to know. Thank you.
So that's A and B, and Darren's got C and D to cover for
But
you.
before we go to C&D, I will press as I normally do. Now that Arcadis is finishing up their heavy lift on creating the CDs for phase 3, when do we press them to put together a proposal for the next flow meter analysis?
I'm working on the proposal for the near water force main right now with them.
Oh, I see.
So the next phase, we'll probably work on that afterwards.
Well, I guess what I don't want to miss is
The wet season?
spring 26 to do flow monitoring.
Point taken.
All right.
Is that a big budget item, the flow meter? Was it like 15 grand a meter? I can't remember.
I forgot the flow analysis portion of that work, because the total thing was like 750, but that was like the CMOM and everything else.
Yeah.
But it's probably a good 150, 200, that sort
Okay,
of thing.
and that would be like 10 locations-ish?
Yeah, well, then they have to do the
The
analysis
data,
and
yeah,
provide a
yeah.
report. It's good, anyway, that's scope of, and quarter of magnitude.
Yep. It would be nice to have phase 3 done. Yeah, then we could really take the bottom of each sewer shed and just meter that and not try and sub-meter all the, to try and you're thinking find more problems in each sewer shed? with
Well, first of
metering?
all, we've only done the Stony Brook sewer shed, right? There's
Right.
another 40% in town.
Yep.
right? And there's areas that Ed wants to go after because he is aware the pumps run for 3 or 4 days after it rains in
Yeah.
these neighborhoods, you know, like. But I think there's more to be had within the Stony Brook sewer shed as well.
Yeah.
Personally. Find out. 6C.
Arcadis identified some pipes that were defective to the point where they could not be relined. One of them was on the post road in front of Trader Joe's. There was a misaligned pipe there, and the camera went underwater, couldn't be fully inspected. And the other one was on Sunset Road. There was some cracked and damaged pipe, and some of the pipe was protruding into the area of the sewer. So both of those were not candidates for relining in that condition, but needed to be relined, or that seemed to be the best approach to repair the pipes. When we did the post road, we immediately encountered flowable fill almost within a foot of the surface of the ground. There were 2 electrical duct banks directly over the sewer where there was damage to the pipe. We immediately got in contact with Eversource.
This is Sunset?
What's that?
This is Post Road.
Oh, this is Post Road.
Post Road in front of Trader Joe's. So it's the portion of the pipe that crosses from the north side to the south side and then goes through the parking lot of Trader Joe's.
Got it.
We immediately contacted Eversource and got some as-built drawings from them. Wasn't even initially marked out for call before you dig. But it's only 345 kW, not a big deal.
Go ahead and dig.
But it was under our pipe. Unfortunately.
So the pipe was suspended during the excavation. The pipe would have been suspended during the
Yeah,
excavation.
they didn't backfill it, right? Or whatever.
Yeah, so the flowable fill is supposed to be excavatable by machine. It's not, at least the one they use is not.
This is getting worse.
Had to be jackhammered,
Correct.
and we were told by Eversource, can't use a hammer bigger than 60 pounds. So,
Because you can't go through the ductile when you get there. Yep, okay.
2-day job turned into 2 weeks. We did a plate every night, dewatering. There were actually 2 duct banks, as I said, over the pipe. There are 3, I don't know if you remember when they came through town, those big
Yep.
boxes they buried, those vaults.
Yeah.
There were 3 of those right in that area, so there's 2 duct banks that went through
Yeah.
our area and over the top of our pipe, and another conduit that wasn't in the flowable fill, which somehow communicates and allows them to control switches inside the vaults.
Wow.
It was competitively bid. Our contractor finished it, and we believe that the pipes are now lineable, and they will be relined in both locations.
That suspended pipe you thought was there, that wasn't pipe that was there, it was PVC
So they put a new piece
They
in while they
did.
were
with
doing it.
2
Fernco?
Ferncos,
You kidding?
and at both Ferncos, and Darren will give you a bit, because they poured that flowable fill on and it sucked it down.
You know, if they had somehow supported that pipe, because almost the entire repair portion of the pipe was in the flowable fill, it would have never moved. I mean, it was like supposedly a weak concrete. It was
Yeah.
like a regular
It
concrete.
should be a good thing.
What's flowable fill? Is that like
It's
some sort
like
of
a-
Like a
process?
Weak.
soupy concrete.
Okay.
It's supposed to be weak concrete, so like, you know,
Lot of
you
water.
do a lot of work. If
Yeah.
a lot of sand, not a lot
Okay.
of
Yep.
cement,
Got it.
and you're supposed to be able to dig through it. And I can
Yep.
tell you, they couldn't dig through it, and they had to jackhammer, and then the machine would dig. Jackhammer, and then the machine would dig. And,
So they use real concrete or whatever. They just brought a
Yeah.
truck and poured.
Well,
and they
it's
didn't.
also 20 years old.
it's weird stuff. It's black. I've
It
never
is.
seen it.
It gets stronger over
You're
time.
kidding?
It's like 16 or 17 years old.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think they understood how it hardens over time in the ground,
Well,
so.
concrete does that.
Oh, yeah. it comes
Would
out.
almost, like, you could have left the PVC there and then replaced huge sections of the pipe on the upstream and downstream side for less money.
If they just kept it.
I think there was another duck, I'm not, don't quote me on that. There are 3 duck banks.
Have we videoed it again? Yet? Have we cameraed the line again yet?
We cameraed it to the best of our ability
After it was fixed?
after it was fixed. Yeah.
Was there any
So-
back charge to them? I know it's
I-
many years ago.
We're waiting for all the final bills to come in, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna send them an invoice.
I mean, what was that, 100 grand, 150 grand? What was the cost to do that?
Now, the contractor was a little under 40 after we negotiated that down. We're gonna try and do the right thing, no matter whose
That
fault it
include the
is.
police and all that?
But the police were very expensive
Yeah.
portion of, 2 weeks, you can imagine, on the
Yeah.
post road, there was usually a couple officers every day, so.
Somewhere probably closer to 15 grand, 12 to
Yeah.
15 grand, I'm just
So
guessing.
you're up to 60,
Depends.
55?
Yeah.
We're tracking it all, and the bills are still coming in.
So
Do they ever own up to it, or is Eversource like, we never did it?
Eversource left 2 employees out there to watch us work
Oh,
every day. I think it was 2 parts from what I can gather from dealing with them. One, they wanted to show us where things were, and 2, they wanted to protect their utility. They actually told our contractor that if you hit it, it's gonna be millions of dollars to repair. And my comment to that was, who cares? Somebody's gonna be melted to the machine
yeah, they
Yeah.
killed
if they hit it.
because you can't shut it down, right? There's no
No.
redundancy in their flows.
Wow,
Do they build a loop, like, so they can?
60 grand for 20 feet of pipe?
Cheap.
We got out of there without any damage to the duct
I
bank.
mean,
You
it's
wanna dig that
and it's a
hole?
main crossing too. If it was this one over here where we were handling 20-something houses, and I would have thought maybe we should evaluate the cost. That one is taking all the flow from
Everything north of
north.
Could that
That's
have,
right.
could that have affected Sedgwick's issues with high water?
Wrong
And that it
side.
may have delayed the tsunami? No?
Wrong side of the.
Wrong side.
Wrong side of the manhole.
All right. Well,
I think
That
we're
sounds
gonna
like fun.
pursue some type of, and I don't know what it's gonna get us, but I'm gonna send them something.
Now,
I'm
have
still
my,
collecting, so.
Withhold the electric
Blessing.
payments.
Yeah. And Ed's right, when we did the Stony Brook crossing in front of the Stony Brook pump station, it wasn't nearly a big deal like this was. I mean, we had some pretty decent flows in the middle of the day, so.
okay. Anything else for the superintendent?
And what was the Sunset Road one like? Was that just a misaligned pipe as well?
Walk in the park.
No, no one to
Dug
bother
down,
there, you
fixed
know,
it,
the post road.
backfilled it?
2 days done now? Is it? Sunset, 2 days done and out?
Sunset, 2 days, maybe 3, because the first day
What, misalignment or a collapse?
it was, when you look at the TV, it looked like a little bit of a misalignment, but the big thing was the pipe was all cracked, and one of the pieces was jutting inward into the area of the pipe like a shard of broken glass, so it was not lineable because of that obstruction that would have, that's what I thought was the big impediment towards
Was it VCP?
relining it. What's that? No, it was all VCP, both locations were VCP, except for the repair that was performed,
Eversource.
which was PVC on Post Road.
And they use the right Ferncos with the double clamp, or did they just
No,
go to the hardware
It
store?
did not only that, one of the clamps was missing on the wrong type of front
Really?
cover. And we found no records or indication that we were ever notified that the sewer was, otherwise we would have requested a 4-band, or at least a stainless steel
Yeah.
band.
All right, anything else for the superintendent?
Nothing? You good?
Any new business? Peter,
Well, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
all those in favor? All right, Channel 7 9, we're done for the night.